Hello everyone, welcome to Downtown Tailoring. In today's video, I'm gonna save my customer favorite old shirt, adding patches on the elbow. So let's go! If you like this video, please give it a like and subscribe. This is my customer shirt. It's a kind of soft denim and it's a little bit old. After so many uses, it got ripped at the elbow. Let's contemplate the best way to fix it. I have a box for my elbow patches, and I kind of have there different kind of patches in different materials, suede, leather, wool, a lot of sorts of material. But as well, I have different templates that I use for different patches. In this case, I'm gonna try to find an old piece of jeans, and I want to make it a little bit darker than the shirt to get a contrast. So I'm marking my patch using my template, and then I'm gonna leave around 1 centimeter, 3/8 of the inches. In fact, it's a better job if you leave a little less. I'm just a little scared of to work with the too little seam allowance. And then I'm gonna cut it all around. I'm working with the two pieces of the jeans, so I've cut them both at the same time, and I think they will look fantastic. Now I'm gonna take my shirt to prepare it, and of course I'm gonna sew the patch at the back of the sleeve. So to work more comfortably, I'm gonna open the seam. In this case, I have a kind of flat fell seam, and now I can see that the stitches on this shirt are really small, which is, I've noticed that this brand usually have very small stitches, which is very good for my customer, but not for me. So I'm just going to sit down and take my time to open those stitches. A little bit of meditation and concentration to have enough patience. Not really. Sometimes you just miscalculate the time you are going to take in a job. I really have to call my customer to come the next day because I honestly didn't think while I was planning ahead that I would take so much time opening those small stitches. They are really small and tight, and you have to be very careful in opening. Usually, mass production garment comes with 8 to 10 stitches by inch, but in this case, I guess that I have probably 14. Now that everything is open, I'm gonna start to work on my patches. One of the elbow is completely ripped, and in this case, I'm gonna put a double patch. I'm gonna cut a piece of fusing interfacing cotton to glue it in the inside part of the patch. And then I'm gonna go to my sewing machine and I'm gonna stitch it, just to make sure that it won't move after some washes. I'm not trying to be too perfect, I'm just going all around just to get the patch. Now I'm gonna measure where my patch will be. It will look much better if we make this patch straight. I'm gonna show you how I measure where to put it. I will try to find the center line of my sleeve, and I'm gonna find the elbow too. The elbow is more or less at the half of the sleeve, and then I'm gonna try to put the patch where the elbow is. It's good not to go too high or not too low. If you can measure to the customer, probably is a little bit easier. Then when I visually know more or less where I want it, then I make sure that it's parallel to the center line of the sleeve. And then I will mark my first sleeve and I will transfer that measurement to the other sleeve. Exactly doing the same, I'm gonna find the center, make the parallel line, try to find where the first patch is located, and then I will copy all those measurements. Something else that you can do that is very good as well is to pin both sleeves together, and you will find the 4 points of one patch and then using pins. That way you make sure that your two patches will be exactly in the same way. It's just that it looks nicer and better. So when you have your two patches, then you can go to your sewing machine and start preparing your patches. So I'm going to start preparing one of them by increasing the length of the stitch and loosening a little bit the tension. Then I'm going to sew all around my mark of the patch. Because this material is a little bit thicker, I'm gonna sew around 1/8 of the inch from the mark. But if the material is a little bit thinner, then I will sew a little bit closer. So it depends. After I go and do my first thing, then I'm going to snip all around my patch. For that, I'm gonna take material in a triangle way. It's because that when that folds, you don't want to have too much material on top of the other. And just be very careful, because very often you can cut the thread that you have. You have to leave the thread long, because this tail is what will allow you to pull that thread later later on. That's very important. So I'm gonna pull my thread, and I pull, distribute, and I kind of play little by little, pull everything more or less in the same tension until my patch has this kind of rounded shape, like it's like a bed. And then I'm gonna take my template and I'm going to insert it in my patch. I'm making sure that my template's marks align with my patch marks. And then I'm going to pull it a little bit more until it's very nice and soft. Then I'm going to my ironing board, and then I'm going to iron flat my patch. I'm going from the edges towards the center. And this is more or less what I have. I'm making sure to iron it very well at the top as well. And at this moment, using a clapper will be a very good idea. The clapper will absorb the steam and will help the crease to form in a better way. So if you have one, this is the time to use it. It's hard for me to really show you completely perpendicular to the camera, but as you can see, it's very, very well pressed. Now I'm just gonna leave it like that and let it cool while I'm working in my next patch. So I already prepared my next patch, and now I can safely remove the patch from the template. And as you can see, it has very well the shape, and I'm gonna mark again my points. Then I'm gonna align my patch with my shirt, and I'm making sure to pin everything very well. I will start by pinning my 4 points, and then if you want, you can add one pin in between. That will make your job easier. Then I'm gonna go to my sewing machine, and I'm gonna turn the sleeve inside out, because that way will be easier to sew. And I'm gonna sew all the way around. I'm trying to go this time at 1/16 of the inch, but you do what you think it looks better. In this case, because the shirt has the blue thread and not a yellow thread, I just chose to not be too bold. Then my next step, of course, is just to check that everything is okay before closing my sleeve. So I'm gonna close it in the same way it was before, and I'm gonna do the next patch, and here you go. The job is done. These patches look amazing. I'm sure that my customer will be very happy. So now the job is done. Look the before, look at the after, and as you can see, we added to the chair, not just a repair. I want to ask you something. Have you encountered before clothes is very difficult to open? If you find this video useful, please give us a like and don't forget to subscribe, share, comment. Bye!